Citizens. My name is Ifoma Oji, and joining me live in the studio, I have Mr. Oladimeji Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Ifeoma. Thank you for having me.
Are you sure you're good?
I'm doing well.
Okay, that's great to hear. All right, still joining us in the studio, we have Mr. Sacramento Daniels, our political analyst. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I bless God today.
Oh, you look beautiful this
I
morning.
look like an agitator
of
Niger Delta.
Oh, yes.
Niger Delta agitators.
I can agree to that. All right, let's move to the stories making rounds on social media. So today we are looking at three stories that touch the heart of leadership, power, and security in Nigeria. First, Tinubu is more powerful than Trump. This is more like, should I say, a story that has stirred debate online. Now, a political figure and PDP chieftain, Emmanuel Ogidi, recently claimed that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is more powerful than the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Yes, you heard that correctly. The argument is that the Nigerian president has enormous constitutional powers and can influence decisions in the legislature far more easily than the American president. Now, in contrast, the president of the United States, even someone like Donald Trump, operates within a system of very strong checks and balances. In the United States, Congress can block the president's policies. But right here in Nigeria, it's not the same. We'll take a look at the video, and when we'll come back, we have a full-on conversation on the topic.
With the fact that you are now left with just three governors.
Yes.
How distraught are you as a member of the PDP, and how distraught is the PDP as once a ruling party, later a powerful opposition party?
It's very sad. Very sad when you see your fellow party men, those you have shared jokes with. I remember the last time we were discussing, we wanted to have our 100 NEC meeting. I know how we used to sit with these governors. They were pleading with us to bring back Anyanwu as secretary. They even said, look, they are vouching for Anyanwu and so on. I remember those discussions. Only for us to, then this last shocking one was that, we went to convention, and then we went for some governors at the convention. At the convention ground, things happened. Do you know what that means? But those of us who are left, we still believe in democracy. We believe that Nigeria should be multi-party democracy. We are resilient, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. Whatever has happened to them, we cannot say, but they keep saying that it's because of their state. That's what they have said now. We'll leave them to that. But we do know that they are not happy leaving us. I have that. They're not happy leaving us.
You think so?
I think so.
It's not on their own volition.
I don't think it. Things happen because you see.
But governors are so powerful that they can.
The president, because is more powerful.
Amma.
The president of Nigeria is the most powerful president in the world.
Not stronger than Trump.
Trump? Tinubu is stronger than Trump.
How do you mean?
The bills that have been going through the National Assembly, Trump can't do that one in America. Trump can't let it. Trump can't get it done in the Senate or in the Congress. No, he cannot. But Tinubu can get it done. He can summon them. Oh, yeah, he has the capacity. That's how powerful the Nigerian president is. That's why I always said, you want it for only one day. You will have changed Nigeria for one day. So the Nigerian president is so strong. That is why we must be very careful who you elect as your president. Now, we have taken the bitter pill. We are frustrated. Nigerians are frustrated.
if you say Nigerians are frustrated, let's take Governor of Adamawa,
Yes.
Fintri, who was the last to,
Yes.
I mean,
You know, like I said,
defect to the
he was the
APC.
chairman of our convention.
Now, the video we just saw right now is the video of the chieftain of PDP, Emmanuel Ogidi, coming out to say that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is way more powerful than any president in the world, including Donald Trump. Now, we know that since 1999 or the 1999 Constitution, that the president have the power to enact a lot of law. The president is in charge of the ministers. The president is in charge of INEC, appointing INEC chairman. The president is in charge of the heads of federal agencies. The president is in charge of service chiefs and the rest of them. But when it comes to, you know, other presidents, for example, Donald Trump, he has to go through a lot of checks and balances. He can't just enact laws like that, unlike our president. Now, let's start the conversation. And I'll be starting with you, Mr. Sacramento. Do you concur to that?
Well, what the chieftain and PDP have just said, Mr. Emmanuel Ogidi said, is the right thing, and I stand with what he says. He said that because look at Nigeria, the type of power that the president arrogates to himself, or maybe our constitution has empowered the president, is not found in America. There are some certain things that Donald Trump cannot take decisions on without consultation, without wider consultation, without the going through the House of Senate and the Rep, because they have the same in the.
Let me interrupt a bit. You saw the bombing in Iran.
The people that they work hand in hand together. Okay. Now they have the CIA. They have CIA is in charge of intelligence. They have the FBI. Do you understand? Yes. They have other departments by departments. Now, America is structured in a way that it has to go through all these departments before the president could give a go-ahead order. Now, even while the war was brewing, the president has already communicated to the Senate to tell them that they're going to take a decisive decision. I know it well that the war in Iran didn't just start today. Remember, there was a 12 days war when America had to interfere to bomb some certain places in Iran because the people are not forthcoming when it comes to the nuclear talk negotiation. America said Iran must not have nuclear weapon or nuclear anything, that they are not supposed to have it because they do not want to, allow Israel to rest. So be it as it may. Now let's come back to our discussion. In Nigeria, a lot of power is being arrogated to the president, and which is not to be so. It's not meant to be like that. So that is where the man is trying to tell us today that Nigerian president is more powerful. Now, Senate summons the president, but in Nigeria, president summons the Senate, which is an aberration. It's an aberration. So that is the truth about it. So one must, when the man is saying this, I know a lot of people might be misunderstanding where it's coming from. A lot of things, a lot of decisions the president takes without, okay, now the president just appointed a new police IG
yes,
without any wider consultation and screening.
Yes, I was coming to that.
So there was nothing there. So it just had to happen. Now, when you go into the executive order, you will see that there is a place given to the president as the grand commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that he should do things like that. So part of the problems we're having in Nigeria today is our constitution. The 1999 constitution of military, instead of having a democratic constitution, the likes, because this was part of the things that the Jonathan's administration wanted to change. That was where they have YC report, some of YC report where he gathered them to make some changes in the constitution.
All right, if I can hold your thought for now on this particular 1999 constitution, let me see if I can get some information from Mr. Oladimeji. Now, do you think, Mr. Oladimeji, that it is good for democracy to kind of hold when we have so much power concentrated in the executive?
The argument has always been against that. If you remember, one of the political school of thought said that power corrupt, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. So when you will enormous power, for example, you have the power to wake up one day and declare a state of emergency in a state where a governor is democratically elected. And that is excess, an abuse of your powers.
Yes.
But we live in a peculiar state where Comrade Sacramento was speaking about, the constraints that the American president must go through even before arriving at his own decisions, or before his decisions are verified or allowed to be executed.
Yes.
Now in Nigeria, we do not have that practice, and that leaves, the lacuna for any president part-time to, excessively abuse this power. Take, for instance, the current dispensation. You have a National Assembly that is completely dependent on the executive. And when you have such situation, framers of democracy had the idea, the foresight, that powers can be abused. And so they created checks and balances.
Yes.
And that is why we had these three arms of government checking each other. National Assembly as watchdog and oversight over the executive, while the judiciary interprets, the arguments that may arise between the two of them. But what we have in Nigeria is the president controls all levels of power, and this is a wrong abrogation of power.
Well said. Now I'm coming to you, Mr. Oladimeji. Why do
Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Daniel, I'm sorry. Why do you think that Nigerian lawmakers rarely challenge the president compared to lawmakers in
because
the United States?
so many of them have their files are in EFCC.
Oh.
Some of them are prison candidates.
Oh.
Yes, that's the truth about it. So too many of them. In fact, all of them.
Basically, all of them.
In fact, 99.5% of them are prison candidates. That's the truth about it.
So where is democracy then?
Who are we talking? Are you talking about democracy? We're not talking about democracy. We're talking about integrity.
On paper, we are democratic.
No. There is not even democracy. What we are talking about integrity. See, the problem here is that people don't tend to understand the difference between integrity and being democratic. Do you understand?
Yes.
You ought to have a quality integrity for you to practice democracy.
Yes.
That's the truth about it. That is why when you look at a Japanese fails you, he will almost commit suicide, take his own life. That is integrity. You do business with a Chinese, proper Chinese, not the ones Nigerians has gone to corrupt. If he fails, you are going in. Do you know how many a Chinese president that has been killed because of corruption? They don't spare, they kill. Because the system says you are going to die by hanging. It is in China, they practice it.
Yes.
Till date.
But it is only in Nigeria that you are corrupt. Then they will give you president or governor. Even when you have gone to prison.
Quite concerning.
So you could say now that we lack integrity to practice democracy. That is the difference.
Because the executive is holding them to ransom.
Everybody is involved in this matter. Because if there is integrity, you will find out that the level of democracy we are practicing would have even superseded the one that the Europeans and the Americans are practicing. It is because we lack that integrity. It is because there is no integrity. That is why you could see everybody, the president wants to arrogate powers to himself. How many presidents have been probed ever since they left office? in Nigeria.
Maybe they
no, there is immune system. There is an immunity.
Yes, but after
immunity
power.
after office.
Yes, there's immunity after office. That's why they can't.
Opened Goodluck's book of research.
Who prosecuted?
You can describe that as political scheming.
Has he ever seen any Obasanjo? Right? Obasanjo to date has been calling people in the House of Senate they are thieves. How many persons have opened the book to say Obasanjo is corrupt here or there? How many times have you seen them invite him in court?
We've even heard cases of the late president of Nigeria, the former president, that they would have opened his own files.
So
he was still
alive. Who is the person that will open it? That is number one.
Good question.
Who will open it? The judge that want to open it, he has skeleton in his cupboard.
Or perhaps he was appointed
really,
by...
Or he was appointed by so where's the integrity?
All right, still talking on this issue, I saw a certain interview on Arise News from the whole commentators, or should I say the pronouncement was coming from a member of the Patriots, Mr. Akin Fahopunda. I don't know if I got his
name.
Fabunde. Thank you so much for correcting me. Now, he said that the president is handling a lot of responsibilities, and as such that he is doing his best. No, it seems as if we are antagonizing the president too much, that we are always complaining about inflation, we are complaining about insecurity, literally the economic hardship generally. So it seems maybe he's trying to say that we should cut the president some slack because he has a lot on his shoulders.
Of course, we need to cut him some slack. Yeah, the killings are too much.
Okay.
We should cut him some slack. On the program yesterday, I described how many had died within 24 hours. Between 164, 62 and 200 died between 24 hours, between 2 days ago and yesterday. Now, there is someone who calls himself a patriot, because if you ask him, if you ask the chieftain today, if you ask Chief Akim, who are you? What kind of Nigerian are you? I'm a patriotic Nigerian. And now your insensitivity towards the plight of Nigerians is completely zero. It's high. You are insensitive to the plight of Nigeria, in both to their security plight, to their economic plight. And you are asking us to cut someone that, in quote, I'm always very uncomfortable speaking about mandate and this current president, because I know that there was no mandate reposting him. So, you are telling us Nigerians who are dying every day, you're telling Nigerians who suffer economic brunt every day to cut a man that has been saddled with responsibility, sole responsibility of the protection of lives and property and provision of safety, and at the same time basic amenities. So what slack exactly is Chief Akim asking for?
Because he has a lot on his shoulders. He equally kind of campaigned.
There is enormous responsibility on that office. If you are not ready, don't take it.
You step down, or you step down too. But there are other concerns of his. He said that we should, or the presidency, he wrote a letter to the presidency that he should try as much as possible to decentralize power. That we have culture and we have language, and that we have different ethnic groups. We have Hausa, we have Igbo, we have the Yorubas, and that these people should be allowed to govern their people because they understand the language of their people. So let's talk about now decentralization of power.
What he's trying to say is for people to move back to regional governance. And going back to the Western province, the Eastern province, and what my view. Now, this was part of the confab in 2014 that was brought on board, and Jonathan was about to decentralize power to the people, and that's pure democracy. But let me tell you, like I said, that's been an issue. You see, the problem of leadership in Nigeria today is because we lack people of integrity. With the people we have now are hawks. The level of people we have everywhere are people that do not care about the people. They only come to do wishy-washy in our presence, and deep down inside them, they don't care. The first question is, how did insecurity come on board? insecurity we are talking about today, talking about terrorism and banditry,
Yes.
we are people that was brought on board to destroy the leadership of Goodluck Jonathan. Now, they fail to realize one thing. That is why integrity is number one thing.
It's principle.
It's principle. It's principle. Now, they fail to realize that Jonathan has only 8 years to stay. Now, when he leaves, would you be able to take back those guys you brought in that have known the taste of money? No. That was how the escalation started. Now, when their brother came on board, President Buhari came. Instead of, trying to fight, he didn't, his body language didn't do that early enough.
Yes.
And they started spreading and became what they were. Now, our leadership, most of the times, they close their eyes to the basic things they needed to do. And they start pursuing shadows. Ever since 2 years now, all we have been hearing is 2027. Now, nobody has called to know, how do we shut down our borders? Because these people that are coming into infiltrating us are coming through borders.
Yes.
Our borders are porous. This is where this terrorism has gained ground. How do we stop this? How do we make this better? No. Everybody is fighting party, trying to move from one party to the other. These were part of OYC, because that OYC, Mohammed OYC was given the power to go and electoral reform in 2008. Do you get this?
Yes.
So these people who have been trying to strangle Nigeria will not allow real people to come on board. So that is the reason. Now, presidents that comes in, instead of getting the right set of people to work with you and place yourself on a mandate.
But if he ran with a
no. Let me tell you.
Hope.
No, you see, when you say renewed hope, renewed hope is a mantra. It doesn't show that you have placed yourself on a mandate. Now, I'll give you an instance. The governor of Anambra State told his people, I have 2 years to fix so thing.
He said he was going to turn Anambra State to Taiwan, but he didn't.
No, that is not where I'm coming from. From a place.
Okay.
When somebody say I am turning, Anambra, Dubai, Taiwan, please always realize it's a mantra. The way we talked about renewed hope.
So we should not hold him accountable for that.
That is not what we are saying.
Okay.
Just follow. It is a mantra. Somebody said, do you understand? You say you have a company and you say the motto of my company is so. That is what the governor of Anambra said.
Okay.
That is the truth. So when he said, I'm going to turn Anambra into Dubai, Taiwan, it is and which he has achieved. I don't. If I read his achievement, we will not finish what we have here.
No, please,
so I don't want to go there.
You don't need to read this.
Fine. So what I'm trying to say is that this man placed himself on a time frame. That every mandate should have a time frame. And that is what he did with his commissioners. He took his time. He had to bring in Obio Kweseleze and some other very what's this man, the husband of Tara, Fela Durotoye. He brought people like this to set up things to ascertain people who wants to work with him. Now he's placed them on a time frame because his own mandate has a time frame. Now I'm not saying it on your mandate we shall start when there is no time frame. You get two things I've said now. You have to have a vision. You have to have a mandate. You have to have a time frame for that mandate to be achieved.
All right.
Now all you see, the time frame they want to achieve is 2027.
All right, but I think maybe to a very large extent, this whole time frame should be imbibed in the Constitution. And I'm talking about the Constitution now. I'm coming to you, Mr. Oladimeji. Do you think that the 1999 Constitution needs to be amended so that we'll have the independent bodies functioning independently without infiltration of the executive?
Listen. that constitution is a scroll I used to describe as the devilish scroll. It's a constitution that has allowed many politicians to abuse power today. That constitution. In fact, my mentor will say that the best constitution we've had as a country was the constitution of the 1963 constitution. The 1999 constitution amended was just a verbatim draft taken by some military men
Abacha,
who pulled off their uniform, wore civilian attires, sat in one room and edited a decree. This constitution we are using today was a decree that was edited and amended into a democratic constitution. And all of the problems we are having as a country stems from this constitution. And we cannot make arguments, substantial arguments, that we change our socio-political space for good based on this constitution. If you ask me, I would say that we go back to the Oronsayas document, report, the confab report. And, this was what APC campaigned on.
Exactly.
In 2015. They wanted to restructure, what do they call it again? What is this?
The restructuring started.
Yeah, they wanted to restructure Nigeria. So that we go back to a kind of parliamentary system that every region grows at their pace. And then there is healthy competition amongst the region. But every time any political party uses that, to make Nigerians, they get to office and do the opposite. I'm still looking for that, political party that will clinch power tomorrow and sit on that restructuring. Because I know that that is the only way to go in this country. You must set up an healthy competition where region uses their own resources to grow themselves. And they donate a fraction to the center for operational duties. So the president can take ceremonial functions and leave, regional governors, leaders to manage their regions. But some will argue that, are we not going to have the same people at the center, disintegrate themselves to our region? But I will say no. When you have something small to manage, your eyes go to reach out.
Yes, that's true.
All right, well said, Mr. Oladimeji. Now let's move over to our second story for today, and we're moving over to Abia State, still on the topic of governance. Now, the students of Abia State protested poor learning conditions. They recently staged a protest over what they described as poor learning conditions in their school. According to reports, classrooms were in bad shape, learning facilities were inadequate, and the students decided they had enough. Now, during the protest, they confronted the governor, Alex Oti, who reportedly responded immediately by approving their request. Reporters say this shows a responsive leadership, a governor listening directly to the people, but it also raises an important question. Why did students have to protest before the government noticed the problem? We'll take a look at the video, and when we come back, we have a full-on conversation on the topic.
Are suffering a lot. Like the basic amenities, we don't have it in the school. As a student, here is not even conducive for us to learn. I can imagine how students read and understand in the environment. There is mosquito, no fumigation, no mosquito.
Dr. Ngozi Azubu to come back here. So all these things you have said now, I've taken note of them. Okay. And the issue of life is a small problem. We will solve it by next week. The one that we will take time is to renovate your hostel. Let me also thank you again wouldn't have stopped. Yeah. So the lesson is that you must insist. Insist on your right. So by next week you will have power here.
Coming from the School of Nursing in Abia State, and we know very well that Nigerians has a long-standing protest against deplorable status in schools. We have buildings that have dilapidated, poor infrastructure in schools, and this particular video was reposted by Mr. P2B, and he commended the effort of the governor of Abia State. He said that this is a governor that is representing the people's will, and with empathy and compassion, binding it with action. I'll just put it that way. And imagine a situation whereby we have governors like this that would take swift response to the agitation and protest of the people. How would this look? I'll start with you, Mr.
Well, like I keep saying here every now and then in the studio, I said one of the beautiful things that happened to Southeast this time around is the 5 Eastern governors, the type we have this in this dispensation. They have really lived up to expectation. They have done things even their predecessors could not do. Dr. Alex Chomoti is a godsend to the people of Abia State, because this is a man that has integrity to govern. It is not skyrocket. You have to understand that you are a public servant. Now, when you go to the antecedents of biography of Alex Chomoti, you understand that wherever he goes to, he's a crisis manager. When Union Bank has crisis, he was the one that was First Bank. He was the one that was sent there. When Airtel had issue, he was brought in as a chairman to help salvage. He also went to Access Bank then, before he now gave a shot into politics, and finally life locks smiled at him. Now you could see the response is, this is not even the first school he has gone to. There was a university, APSU. He went to the school hostel, and he was in a terrible mess. Now, this takes me to every time ASU goes on strike, I get so upset, because you find out that even in the ASU, that people we have there are just people who are interested in their pockets. School hostels, all these strike. How many times have ASU set up a kind of an enforcement committee going around all the universities, that all this money we take from the government, how do we use it? What are the states of schools? Going to hostels, section by section, to go and check schools that are defaulted. You find them, you shut the school down. They say ASU is the one that shut the school down till they get these things right. How many times have we had that? I don't think in all my life I've had things like that. But every time is that school will always shut down because government did not do this, government did not do that. Now look at the governor going to school, finding out that the school hostels is in terrible mess. He said even animal cannot even live there. So you could see that. Now I'll give you an instance. The governor of Anambra State went to a place they call Olumbasa. He's the first governor in the history of Anambra that ever visited there. Then now you go through river, through sea for 2 hours. Then when you get there, you take a bike for 1 hour. Then when you get, there's a place where bike will not stop. Okay, Keke will take you, then bike will not take you to the place. These are communities. Nobody has visited. They have never seen common light. They don't even have a primary health care. But under 2 weeks, the government of Anambra State made those things available for them. That is governance. That is hearing people's cry, going about, not coming to the rural. I mean, not coming to the urban setting to come and be singing songs for you. You'll not be thinking you're a champion. There are people, there is a place after over 30 years, I've never seen one tiled road in Anambra State. This governor made it happen. The second elderly man comes up every morning to go and check if the tiled road is still there every morning, because it's the first time he is seeing it. So what I'm saying is that this a man, Alex Oti, has come to change. I don't know if you have visited Aba recently. I was there in January.
No, I have not, but I have.
I had there. I saw the transformation. Even in Omaya, I traveled to Arochukwu. I saw from Ozuabam down to Arochukwu. This was a road that takes us 4 good hours before you get to Arochukwu. But now, under 1 hour, you are in Arochukwu. So this is a man with a vision and a mandate with a time frame, because he knows you're not going to stay there forever.
Exactly.
And if you do not put things on ground, posterity will judge you.
Exactly.
So these are things leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. Not coming to every minute. How many times have you had Alex Oti talking about his second tenure? How many times have you had him talk about it?
I mean, people have already
people are the ones saying, but he's busy doing his job.
Exactly.
Just this morning, I saw the airport that he's building. I saw what the runway is on the runway right now. So you could see people who have mandate to deliver, not coming there because politics is just to settle yourself and settle your cronies. That's not it. So I say kudos to him. That's how it should be. That's what leadership. I've been telling our president, go around to regions, call people living in that rural area, in those regions. Ask them what their problems are directly.
That is,
you will change a lot of things.
That is if the road is in good condition. Because you remember when there was an attack, I think that should be in Kwara State, the president couldn't visit the place because yellow water, yes, because the road was in a terrible condition. But still talking at this, I saw some videos online that should be last year, which we took the story about. I think it should be a medical school in Lagos State. We saw the video how there were bushes literally everywhere that even animals, I believe, cannot even survive and function in such an environment. And that is the deplorable, situation or condition the school is left with. And they're expecting students to function and be leaders of tomorrow in such an environment. But, we commended Governor Alex Oti for, acting swiftly to their agonies and yes, the protests. But there is an underlining message here. Does the children and the students, do you think that the students should protest in the first place before these things are being put in place or should be put in place?
Protest is a part of an egalitarian society. Protest is not a sin. And because you're a leader and people protest does not make you a failed leader. Now, but first let us establish. This story reminds me of Ajimobi between 2011 and 2019, the constituted authority. When students like this protested to him, instead of responding to them based on his responsibility, it aghast them. And when it turned into a serious crisis, he said they were disrespecting him because and they do not know that he is the constituted authority in the state, and as such he should be respected. So, look. If you're with great powers comes enormous responsibility. In Nigeria, some politicians shove these responsibilities for political expediencies at the expense of the people. All right. Now, students can protest.
Yes.
Organizations can protest. All right. Communities can protest.
Yes.
It is left for the public servants who occupy office per term to respond to these people and their agitation, like Alex Oti did. Swiftly respond to them Did they go back to protest after the rest?
No, they
Would
didn't.
they protest over the same thing tomorrow?
No.
No. That is what we call governance, and that is responsibility.
Do you think now that if it's just like what Mr. Oladimeji said, if we have government of the day that responds to, people's cries and their grief, do you think that maybe to a very large extent Nigeria will actually be a better place?
You've already said that. But the truth about it is, I told you.
Yeah.
One, your mandate must be with a purpose. If you do not have a purpose of coming into a genuine purpose, then there must be a level of integrity in your purpose. That's another thing.
Let me just cut you, off a bit. Now, there's a video that has been circulating online about Dave, Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, who came out to say that he has served Nigeria for 16 years. He was once a deputy, a governor, now a minister. Now, talking about integrity now. We saw the fracas going on between him and Tracy Ohiri, who supplied a lot of logistics to him during the time he campaigned. And talking about integrity now, would you say that it is because these people are left unchecked, because these people are not held accountable, that is why somebody can come out boldly to sexually objectify a woman?
Okay, now let me come in. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Having a feelings for somebody is not wrong. That's one. It's quite different. Now, but having a feeling for a woman because you are owing her is a crime. I don't know if you understand the two things I just said. I can see we talk every now and then, and I start noticing feeling that I want to be close to you. It's quite a different thing than that. If for me to do some certain things for you, there must be you must reciprocate to this means that I want. It becomes a crime. That is it. Now, Dave Umahi is not. I wouldn't totally say he's a bad person. He's not. But the issue is this. Most of the time, people might do some certain things and think because there are power. That's what we just say. Absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
You think you will always be a masquerade and stay at the center at every point in time. It's always the problem. That is why your agenda, your mandate must run with integrity and time frame. We just discussed Alex Oti now. This man has come because he has a burning sensation to bring Abia State back to the map. And that is exactly what he has done. Now, Dave Umahi, I will say he didn't really handle the matter well. You would have given this lady her money, then start asking for whatever you are asking for.
Okay.
So that you will not know that it is not because you are holding her money that you are asking for. I don't know whether the lady is saying the truth or she is lying. Because when things come out in public, people will always make it look very, very interesting. But let's argue from the point of view where the lady has said that and brought some evidences.
All right.
So I was thinking, then another thing, somebody said something that, you see, people who call themselves Oga Boys would have gone around and give that lady her money without even, when they have seen these things that this lady.
But he is a governor. He should be able to set.
He has left power.
Dave Umahi.
He left power then, and now. That's what I'm saying. If I was one of his boys, if I was one of his boys, and this thing wouldn't have gotten to such matter. This thing, I would have rallied down and give this thing so that it doesn't go to the public.
Anyway, I believe we'll still continue this particular conversation some other time. But in as much as I get your takes on this particular matter, I think to a very large extent that powers should go, checked. It should not be left unchecked. We're talking about schools, the deplorable state of schools. We should have bodies, like you mentioned, ASU, inspecting these schools and ensuring that the monies that is coming out from the government purse is being allocated or allotted to these schools, so that we'll not be having things like this, because to a very large extent it's actually demarketing Nigeria. I must tell you. But
let me also add, the governor of Ebonyi State presently, Francis Mufuru, suspended the commissioner for works. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard it.
You heard, because the commissioner told him that a road that he told the governor that has been completed since 5 months ago, nothing has been done.
They're just doing the drainage.
And he has collected the money. So he suspended it. In fact, he should even go further and incarcerate that young man.
Well said. I mean, people should be made that actions beget reaction, and for every action there is consequences. And still talking about this, I still believe that apart from everything that we've said now, that powers should actually, or tenure should be regulated. I mentioned Dave Umahi, who have served for 16 years and currently still in power. There are other countries that have regulated, regimes or tenures. It shouldn't supersede like 8 years, but we still have Nigeria. We have people like David Mark, who have served Nigeria for a very long time, still in the system. We have people like even the president that have served Nigeria before, but still in the system. We have David Mark, and we have the Senate of the Senate president of the National Assembly still in power, not giving opportunity for other people to equally shine. But let's talk about the third story, which is a new warning is raising serious questions about the future of young people in our country. Now, according to reports linked to the World Bank, Nigeria may be headed towards a major youth unemployment crisis by the year 2030. Now, if urgent steps are not taken to create jobs, the warning has sparked intense debate, especially as the country navigates economic reforms under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But what exactly does this warning mean, and how did Nigeria get to this point? Mr. Oladimiji, how did Nigeria get to this point?
Simple. We got to this point because there is something we call microeconomy and macroeconomy. This current dispensation is so concentrated on the micro because it shows the optics. Construction of roads, what they call portfolio investment, which is short term, and what have you. These are the things they are concentrated on. But when we talk about, those metrics that measures HDI, Human Development Index, which is the macroeconomy,
Yes.
They don't attend to it. All of those monetary policies that directly affect the Nigerian people, they don't attend to it, but they attend to all of these macro policies because it is easy and it's a lazy man's job. Short-term policy, selling of bonds, security, government security and co. And it hovers around friends and cronies. You buy this bond, you buy this share, you buy this security, this, and within short term, those cronies, raking money, and the government takes the optical, praise for it. That is what we are running, and this is why we are having this administrative problem in the country. It does not matter how much policies, deliberate policies that Tinubu will roll out right now, in as much as they remain macro, the problem will persist.
Well said. Now, the president one time, that should be last year, towards the middle of last year, he came out to say that the economy is now stable, that the reforms is now working. But if reforms are working, Mr. Sacramento, why is it that we still have out of school children? Apart from that, why do we still have skyrocketed unemployed youth?
Okay, one of the issues I see, it's insincerity. Insincerity of purpose. The people, the finance, the CBN, the whatsoever have you, are bent on, like Mr. Ladme said, they are bent on building on optics instead of realities. Now, when we talk about Nigeria will soon face a serious unemployment.
Yes.
It shows that the president and the governors of the 36 federations are not doing enough.
Okay.
Yet, because you can't single out the president. They go to share allocations every month. And ever since in the history of Nigeria, this is the dispensation where the allocations that have been given to governors are the highest so far in the history of this country. Now, the question is, how do governors assist to solve unemployment? Because it has to go down to every state, nooks and cranny. People that we're talking about, the youth we're talking about, comes from particular regions, particular states. So you understand. So the governors are part of these problems because so many of them are bent on their second tenure, enriching themselves without doing anything. I come again. The governor of Anambra State, first year, he brought out a program called 1U2 Skills.
Yes.
1U2 Skills to empower the youths. Now, come and learn skills. After learning skills, he gives you a funding to go and open. If you are being established, come and perfect, then a particular fund is given to you to become an employer of labor. So take for it now, in Anambra, he has empowered 5,400 youth, thereabout. Now, take an instance that in all the 36 federation, every governor has empowered 5,000, maybe in the first year. Then in the second year, you empower another 5,000. Do you understand? And these people are beginning to develop, to bring in people to employ laborers. You will find out that before 2030, we are talking about Nigeria, the level of unemployment would have reduced.
In fact, comrade, forgive me. By the end of 2026, we're going to be eating 141 million.
That's a lot.
So you understand now.
Poverty projection.
Yes, you're correct. Now, so these are where the problem lies. This is where the problem lies. So the policies of a lot of governors are not helping the youths. Now, not going to pay bursaries. That is not the issue. Paying bursary is a one-off thing. You pay bursary, the student eats it and is still hungry. But when you begin to start, that's why I said, I don't like this idea of NYSC.
Should be scrapped.
It should be removed. Students should be encouraged to gain first class, second class, third class. There should be a level of financial benefit, not only financial benefit, but if you get first class, they take you to a particular destination, teach you this. If you want to learn this or that, you travel. When you come back,
I mean, some countries
they empower you. Take for instance that somebody who got first class in agriculture, in soil science, and he goes learn a lot of things and comes back, and the government gives him 20 million to go and establish himself. Do you know what you have achieved in doing? So, through that way, a lot of unemployment, we will not be talking about all these things. People will be gainfully employed. The country, everybody, it becomes a networking thing. You will empower this person, he empowers another person empowers, it begins to. So, by 2030, everything. But what do we have? We have people who are enriching themselves, buying keke and okada to give to youth.
Kuli.
And somebody, federal house guy, was sharing wheelbarrow to people.
Yes.
In Anambra to give them that's part of empowerment.
Impoverishing their minds.
So you could see the kind of people we have.
All right. Well said. Thank you so much, Mr. Sacramento. Mr. Oladimeji, the last question now. Do you think that the looming youth unemployment is led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a result of this administration, or do you think is as a result of decades of mismanagement?
When politicians come to canvass and campaign, they come with their manifestos. I mean, if I were competing in the next election, I I must be studying the current crisis in the country and providing solutions that I'm going to take to the table.
Yes.
But we have a government who is completely interested in only politics. Remember that the first month that President Tinubu got there was the month that we had the billboard of himself and his wife and 2027 written on it. They do politics and they neglect, governance. And that's why sometimes I ask myself that, are we really, do we really change power for governance or for government? Now let's come to your question, Sharon. Sorry, if you're... Listen, I said earlier that by the end of 2026, we'll be hitting 141 million poverty index. We're currently at 133 million. All right. Now, you are rolling out policies. I call them inimical policies. Because these are policies, they are laudable policies, no doubt.
Yes.
But these are policies that are not well thought out, not well tailored. Before you roll out policies, you must have, attended to some situations, cushion the effects that these policies will bring to the people. For instance, the effects, singularization, the removal of subsidy, which so many policies that have been brought, they are bold policies. But you don't, when timbers fall, you prioritize the one at the top. Not going under to begin to pull in the name of dislodging the falling logs. You take them one by one from the top and to the next. But what we are having with this government is they want to show that they can make bold steps. They can take bold steps rather and make bold decisions. Just optics anyway. And on the, in reality, these policies are counter-effective.
Well said. It's quite an explosive interview and conversation I had this morning with the both of you. It's really sad, and I'm just going to say this warning from World Bank concerning youth unemployment, it should be taken quite seriously, because I don't want to talk about the protests, ASU, the rest of them, but this is not just about, individual. It's about the entire country and how other countries perceive Nigerians. If we cannot even fix problems, our economic problems, then why are we inviting investors to come and invest in the country? I saw the president when he traveled earlier. He traveled to UAE. He was advocated and saying that the government should come and a lot of people should come and invest in Nigeria, that Nigeria is now, stable. We are out of the dark and the rest of them. I think a lot of things need to be put in place in Nigeria. If we have growth of industries, if we have supporting, if we can support these entrepreneurs, people that are done with school, give them, just like what Mr. Sacramento said, if you studied agriculture and you got first class, you emerged first class, there should be a plan from the government for you, because it should move, it should circulate. If one person should be able to empower, if the government empowers one person, it will definitely move down. You see other people supporting and helping other people to grow. But I think this is where we are going to call it a wrap on Morning Pulse right here on Active Citizens. Thank you so much, Mr. Sacramento and Mr. Ladimeji, for lending your voice to the cause of this conversation. And to you, our VVIP watching, thank you for always watching Morning Pulse as they hot and Evening Parliament. We see you, we love you, appreciate you. However, if you're yet to like, comment, share and subscribe, the time is now. Do it. We see you, we appreciate you once more. But till we see you in the afternoon for Atide Hot, where we'll be bringing you more updates about political sphere or the space, do have a lovely morning.